Hey everyone, and welcome back to another explainer. Today, we're unraveling a truly fascinating micro to macro mystery. And it all started right in the comments section of a philosophy video. We're looking at this bizarre, frankly brilliant clash of internet culture that reveals so much about how we think, how we scroll, and ultimately how we fall into the trap of human stupidity. It is a wild journey, and it's going to take us from the split-second dopamine hits of a YouTube premiere all the way to the dark prison cells of World War II Germany.
Okay, let's dive into this. Notice the stark contrast between these two comments. Both of these were posted at the exact same time during the premiere of a Big Think video, which was actually about the philosophy of stupidity. On the left, we've got a pure dopamine-driven pop culture reaction from user @Akimongoosh, literally just comparing the speaker to the Bridgerton actor Jonathan Bailey. It's light, it's conformist, it's pretty much peak surface-level internet scrolling. But on the right, well, we have something incredibly dense from a user named @BestApe. First unedited comment, deuter comment, followed by a fire and dove emoji. It's a jarring shift. You go from this casual observation to something that feels almost like a cryptic puzzle, just waiting to be solved.
By analyzing the original digital footprint of this exact comment thread, we can perfectly frame our entire investigation today. Because the feed was sorted by newest, we can see these two wildly different reactions were posted within mere moments of each other. It visually captures this massive battleground between fast, reflexive groupthink and slow, deep, critical thought. So we're going to decode exactly what this second user meant and how their strange, off-the-cuff thought connects directly to one of the most chilling philosophical theories of the 20th century.
So let's decode this deuter mystery. Why did the commenter use that specific word to reply to themselves just 52 seconds later? Well, it actually has a brilliant dual meaning here. First, on a very literal, functional level, a deuter comment acts as a secondary thought. They were quickly clarifying that their first, highly complex post was completely unedited, just totally off the cuff. But secondly, deuter carries heavy theological weight, much like the biblical book of Deuteronomy. It acts as an interpreter, pointing us, the readers, to uncover the hidden, deeper codes nestled right inside their original message.
And this brilliantly illustrates where those deeper codes lead, right back to the original message. The user stated they were going to rustle the lion to lay with the lamb. Now, despite how incredibly familiar that sounds, that's actually not a direct quote from anywhere in the Bible. It's what we call a linguistic patchwork quilt. You see, our minds use semiotic priming to stitch together concepts rapidly. Here, the user combined three distinct biblical motifs: the struggle, referencing Jacob wrestling for enlightenment; the adversity, representing the roaring lion of danger or ignorance; and the peace, which is the ultimate state of innocent tranquility. It perfectly, poetically captures the agonizing labor required to actually conquer our own ignorance.
Our source analysis dug even deeper into this concept, looking at what's known as Jacob walking, WJD, or what would Jesus do? When Jacob wrestled this divine stranger, which is often interpreted by theologians as a pre-incarnate Jesus or a Christophany, he was actually struck on the hip. He walked away with a permanent limp. Because wrestling with absolute truth, it leaves us humbled. It completely breaks our ego. We walk away with a limp, sure, but we emerge completely transformed. And this intense, ego-breaking struggle for truth is exactly what the philosophy video they were commenting on was trying to teach us in the first place. And that ego-breaking struggle brings us to the very core of the source material that sparked this entire internet exchange. It was about the philosopher and theologian Dietrich Bonhoeffer, who wrote this genuinely chilling theory from a Nazi prison cell back in 1943. He boldly claimed, "Stupidity is a greater threat to civilization than even evil." Now, Bonhoeffer was part of the anti-Nazi resistance, and he watched his highly educated university peers completely succumb to the Nazi regime. He realized that, when you have a known evil, the good of the world automatically rallies to fight it. But stupidity? It's subtle, we tolerate it, and it quietly drags down entire institutions from the inside.
So what does this all mean? How did Bonhoeffer actually define this unique threat? Well, he broke stupidity down into exactly three distinct, highly dangerous elements. And it's absolutely crucial to understand here that he wasn't talking about mere foolishness, like, accidentally putting dish soap in the dishwasher. And he wasn't talking about a simple lack of cognitive ability or a low IQ. No way. The stupidity Bonhoeffer warned about is far more insidious. It's an active, structural decay of an individual's critical thinking. Let's walk chronologically through exactly how an independent thinker gradually surrenders their mind. It all begins in stage one with outsourcing critical thought. This is when we just let a parent, a political party, or maybe technology do our moral reasoning for us.
This eventually decays into stage 2, willful ignorance, or what the ancient Greeks called amathia. This is a terrifying state. It's where a person actively celebrates the fact that they don't know something, and they actually mock the people who do. And finally, we hit stage 3, complete societal conformity. This is where a person's identity totally overrides objective truth, and they just close their mind off to any alternative positions whatsoever.
Now, what's really interesting about this breakdown is how easily we can map Bonhoeffer's 1943 philosophy right onto our modern digital lives. Outsourcing today, that's asking ChatGPT if you should break up with your partner. Amathia is hiding behind the anti-intellectual do-your-own-research trap just to bat away peer-reviewed evidence. And conformity is locking yourself inside a comfortable social media echo chamber. I mean, think back to that pop culture Jonathan Bailey vibes comment from Atticum Gush we saw at the very beginning. In a vacuum, it's just a completely harmless gateway to internet conformity. We see a trend, we repeat it for a quick hit of dopamine. But Bonhoeffer warns that true, institutional stupidity weaponizes this exact same mechanism of social groupthink for catastrophic ends.
Which leads us to this deeply frustrating, yet incredibly accurate, internet metaphor. Debating an idiot is literally like playing chess with a pigeon. You can play an absolute masterclass game of chess, laying out all the rational logic and evidence, what Aristotle called logos, but the pigeon? The pigeon doesn't care. It's just going to jump on the board, knock over all the pieces, soil the board, and fly back to its flock, declaring total victory. Bonhoeffer recognized that an indoctrinated person is playing by entirely different, tribal rules. They aren't interested in facts at all, they only see you as a threat to their established identity.
And this right here is where the danger truly lies, because anyone, even absolute geniuses, can become the pigeon. We have to distinguish between ordinary stupidity, which is just a genuine lack of cognitive skill, like, say, being bad at math, and intelligent stupidity. Intelligent stupidity is using incredibly high intellect for foolish, conformist ends. Philosophers call this epistemic trespassing. It happens when a brilliant mind, let's say an astrophysicist, arrogantly assumes they also know everything about political science simply because they're smart in one specific area. They vastly overestimate their transferable skills. Even the smartest minds fall into intelligent stupidity when intellectual pride replaces intellectual humility.
Let's move to the solutions and see how this builds into practical action. How do we actually escape the trap? Well, the source material offers 3 structured solutions for wrestling the line of our own ignorance. Step 1 is radical doubt, which leans on Karl Popper's idea of falsification. Basically, you must actively seek out arguments that prove your most cherished beliefs wrong. Step 2 is Socratic warmth. You can't just bludgeon people over the head with facts, you have to ask open questions and offer interpersonal grace, separating the person's identity from the debate itself. And Step 3, this is my favorite, the Aztec decision circle. The ancient Aztecs would intentionally invite a circle of trusted friends to offer dissenting, opposing views before making any major decision. They literally, structurally, invited disagreement.
We have to actively stop outsourcing our critical thinking to the algorithms, to the comfortable cliches of our time, and to the political whips of our echo chambers. It requires agonizing, deliberate efforts to unlearn conformity. Which brings us right back to the incredible wisdom hidden in that one fleeting YouTube comment that sparked this entire journey today. So, my challenge and my final question to you is this. Are you willing to wrestle the roaring lion of your own live beliefs, enduring the struggle and the ego-bruising limp, in order to finally lay with the peaceful lamb of truth